welcome to the Seamaster Qatar 2016 ITTF World Tour Grand Finals. Welcome to Doha. It is men's singles quarter-final. Please welcome from Germany, the number 8 seed, world ranked number 6, Dimitrij OVTCHAROV. Please welcome from China, the number 2 seed, world ranked number 2, Zhendong. And would you kindly acknowledge your officials? The umpire from Japan is Yumiko Morikawa. And the assistant umpire also from Japan is Kyoko Gondo. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Dimitrij OVTCHAROV against Zhendong. It is men's singles quarterfinals.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Seamaster Qatar 2016 ITTF World Tour Grand Finals. Coming to you live from Doha, Qatar. I'm Adam Bobrow, and with me, Johnny Cowan. How you doing, Johnny?
Adam, I am good. This one should be a cracker.
Well, I think it will be. Get your butter and your cheese, ladies and gentlemen. Dimitrij OVTCHAROV of Germany, world rank number 6, the 8th seed in the his little Emma watching at home. It's his 9th time in the World Tour Grand Finals, but he's got a tough battle here against Zhendong, being coached by Malong's personal coach, Coach Jin Zhejian. Now, Zhendong is world rank number 2. He's the 2nd seed in the tournament, only 19 years old. It's his 3rd World Tour Grand Finals. He won the Men's World Cup this year, the Chinese National Championships, and the China Open. I mean, just a very impressive player. 2015 took the Polish Open and the Swedish Open. Jörg Roskopf in the corner for Dimitrij OVTCHAROV. Now, we were talking a little bit about the last time these two played. It was in 2013 at the German Open in front of the home crowd. Now, if you turn back the clock 3 years, Dimitrij OVTCHAROV is 25, arguably a peak age for many players. And Zhendong was a mere mid-teenager, 16 years old, breaking onto the scene. And it was a 4-1 victory for Zhendong. He's only improved. So it is really going to be up to Dimitrij OVTCHAROV to change, I'd say, to outplay the expectation here, Johnny.
Yeah, we know the challenge that faces the European here against the formidable Zhendong. The man, of course, who won the Star Point this week at the Seamaster Qatar ITTF Star Awards. Everybody will have seen that, no doubt, online. The shot against Simon Gauzy, where he fishes it under the net post and rolls it on the other side.
And just to call attention to it, make sure you check that point out. That was Dima's signature. Players used to do this a lot more, but they put the ball in their mouth when they get a new ball to get the dust, the chalk off the outside. That's what he does to make sure that it's ready to play and stays consistent throughout the match. But yes, Zhendong demonstrating his touch and his feeling. That point with Simon Gauzy, and even yesterday against Koki Niwa, chop block after chop block came floating back.
There he is, the young man. Formidable CV. World Team Champion, Men's World Cup Champion this year, as well as China Open and Japan Open, where no doubt you covered a lot of his matches, Adam. Formidable, but we know Dima has a very high game. If he's on his game, he can play a very, very high level.
It's interesting when you think about which Chinese players he's had success against, and it's actually not too many of them from the Big Four. Of the Big Four, Zhang Jike is his most, I'd say, reasonable win to call on. We'll have to see. The backhand is what worked for him against Zhang Jike. He has explosive power on the backhand. And in terms of his actual recovering. You know, we talked about sweet spots. Fan Zhendong, if the ball's anywhere on the clear side of his body, let's say to the backhand side from the middle or even wide, he's dangerous. You really have to pinpoint the middle on Fan Zhendong to get him out of position and then hit a ball that's out of reach.
The key here is the start, right? Dima has to be in this from the start.
Yep.
Wrestle with Fan Zhendong a bit. If he can pinch the first game, puts a little bit of pressure on the teenager. Otherwise, we know what Fan Zhendong's capable of. Steam train stuff.
That's right. Well, here he is with his signature serve to start.
Nice positive start from Dimitrij OVTCHAROV there, moving across. Nice backhand flick.
Even though he misses that shot, he's got the right attitude. He can't get passive. If he blocks that back, sort of a lukewarm return, Fan Zhendong is going to be all over it. He knows he has to go big with the shots.
That's a great serve and third ball.
The third ball wasn't an easy opportunity. Watch the height he takes this from, too. Right at the back of the table, probably about table height when he looped it.
Of interest for me there, Adam, OVTCHAROV's led with two variation on serves. One the backhand, one tomahawk, rather than the standard pendulum. That says something to me in terms of tactics here.
Right, and I think we'll see a lot of evolution of the serve throughout the game. We'll see what he keeps up. I think he will be mixing it up, though, as soon as he senses that Fan Zhendong knows what's coming. And already that serve is so well studied, that tomahawk serve. Players who haven't played Dima before and don't have proper coaching staff or haven't done their research, dump that into the net the first few times they see it. Although at this level, players adjust quite quickly, learn from their mistakes.
Lots of side spin on the Fan Zhendong serve, willing the opponent to play out to his forehand side for him to play that big third ball attack.
See how much topspin is on the ball. Just by the way, Dima, even with the closed racket, not standing upright too much, it blocks it up and out. So I guess not closed enough and not forward enough. Talked about the body, the physique of Fan Zhendong and how much strength he has. Can just leap in either direction, and his wrist so strong.
Excellent variation on the serve from OVTCHAROV. This time he's gone long into the backhand. Still gets a positive return from Fan Zhendong, a little high. Dimitrij still has to accelerate on it.
Watching Fan Zhendong on the receive of serve, it looks like he's trying to figure out where Dimitrij OVTCHAROV is going to go. On that toss, he ended up much wider to the forehand than where he started.
Psychologically, it can be so challenging when you know you're receiving the serve of someone who's just going to come at you with the third ball. Backhand, forehand, middle, backhand, wide, anywhere. It's tough to try and really hone in on the type of good receive that you can give.
Incredible point, and what a view to see the ball whizzing back and forth all over the table. Dima is playing right there. That's got to be a 9 out of 10 or above from Dima to keep up in that point, and still can't win it.
World-class table tennis right there. Change back to the backhand serve for OVTCHAROV.
Just a bit too long, but still gets the point off the top of the net after a strong opening. And this is many times now we've seen Fan Zhendong come in with that just roaring forehand, and it gets countered back. Dima very boldly has to play above his level and take some risks. He's doing it very well right now. top of that to punch it back with the backhand. Every shot, he's making it count. He's really trying to stay in at the table. Has to turn around for the forehand, too. And at Dima's height, taking that shot's expensive, but that flicking backhand is getting that extra snap at the end to accelerate it down the line. Ties it back up at 6 points each.
The level you have to play at to stick with the top Chinese players. You know, you're having to play your best ball every time.
Yeah, I'm still thinking of, I mean, Fan Zhendong is just a beast, just climbing his way through the world rankings, and there's still a little padding on Ma Long's #1 spot, but it's a question of time. Wow, the power. And if you look at the legs, you know, his nickname, Xiaopang in China, Little Fatty, he's very physically fit, but he's massive in the quads, and he's so fast and so agile. My question is, how long is Ma Long going to stay on top, and how much pressure is it going to put on Fan Zhendong? I mean, he's playing a very physical game. He started so young.
Yeah, that has to be a concern. No doubt he's getting the best of treatment, the best of guidance for sure. Future world #1 is on the cards. OVTCHAROV, big service sequence this one at 7-8. This opening game so crucial in this quarterfinal men's singles match.
It's a well-placed serve, shorter on the forehand side. Fan Zhendong not afraid to get in his signature Chiquita receive with that backhand over the table. Just a little bit less length to work with there.
That's excellent, well held. He's held his ground there, Adam. He's given nothing away. He's taken the barrage.
Yeah, it seems like he knows exactly what he needs to do. He's staying forward. To block so consistently takes a lot of focus because the amount of spin and pace on the ball with every loop, you can't get this in the practice hall unless you're practicing with Fan Zhendong or Ma Long. And it wasn't today, but actually, I think it was yesterday, Dima was practicing with Fan Zhendong in the practice hall. So, could be helpful. Players will mix it up from time to time, whoever happens to be in the practice hall.
Oh, uncharacteristic miss. It was Fan Zhendong that instigated that with the long, different serve. It got OVTCHAROV on the back foot, but he's kind of sliced it back, thrown Fan Zhendong, and watch this, we'll see it again, he blows it off the end.
Right, I think he thought there was a bit more underspin. Dimitrij OVTCHAROV coming around the side of the ball like a chop block, but with less backspin. And this is the best chance Dima has to take game one, as you said, get Fan Zhendong a bit nervous. He's got 2 game points to do it here with his serve. Little break off the top of the net, but he made outstanding shots on several occasions. He's doing everything right in this point.
How does Fan Zhendong get this one back at him? Watch, boom! That's a winner 9 times out of 10, that is.
And then another one, he comes back. I mean, Dima played this point just right, then the little bit off the top of the net. He's gonna have to keep the focus, do the same thing, maybe change up the placement a little bit on his third ball if he can get it. There it is, the big backhand to the middle, changes the placement, takes game one 11-9. This match is just getting started, but it's gonna be interesting. Game 2 right after this.
OVTCHAROV, he takes the first game, 11-9.
players come back to the table. Things are already heated up. Dimitrij OVTCHAROV, playing an outstanding match so far, takes game 1. In his career against Zhendong, he has equaled the amount of games won before today. They faced off once before, and it was a 4-1 victory for Zhendong. But Zhendong is going to have to struggle a bit and figure some things out. I think anyone who watched game 1 would agree that Zhendong played quite well, but Dimitrij OVTCHAROV played even better. Shaken up a little bit. You know, as far as variety, we talked about the level of the top Chinese players. Ma Long struggled against Li Ping in his first match. Looked very shaky, but against Wang Chunting yesterday looked unstoppable.
Sure did. This is interesting now. Zhendong loses the first. He looks as if his mind isn't actually in the Ali bin Hamad Al Attiyah arena right now. This is a good chance for OVTCHAROV to impose himself here. Really start to put the pressure on the youngster. Great change, though. I've been using the reverse throughout the first game. Change it up there from Zhendong. Very clever indeed.
One of the most difficult things about that is he has no sign that it's going to change until the last moment. Smart placement, one into the body, one into the backhand. Zhendong, as strong as his backhand is, if he's anticipating it to the forehand side, isn't going to be able to set up for this shot. See him trying to get the body out of the way. That's a much more defensive attempt on that last ball from Zhendong. So close to the line. It's a high pressure shot here. Has the opening. It's not a big one though, because if Zhendong gets a racket on it, it's coming back cross court. Service variation from Dima. Third ball catches the edge. But that's one of the beauties of this backhand serve, is it's really tough to know where he's going to go, and he plays it deep on the table into the backhand. Zhendong is so comfortable moving in on the forehand side for the banana.
Interesting sequence of two coming up now from Zhendong. Trails 2-4.
Big grunt as he turns around. That's a very difficult place to take the ball from. Watch where it bounces. Second bounce right at the baseline. Dima to make a quick move. Again, he's quite fast for his size, but compared to the big four on the Chinese national team, speed is not his biggest asset.
Both players just arm wrestling with one another here. It's not free-flowing table tennis, these last few points. So crucial here, second game.
You just painted a very interesting picture for me, Johnny. Who do you think would win if these two arm wrestled?
Good question. Dima's really mixing things up here. Look at the serve. Watch the ball he plays here next. Look. Nice little flick, push.
Right, just sort of swiping the side of the ball, changing up the pace, leaving an awkward shot for Zhendong from the mid-distance.
I think you have to do that against Zhendong, mixing it around. If you play in the same way, he'll just get on top of you.
Right, he's got too much rhythm. And that's the thing, when it comes to table tennis, like many sports, rhythm is a big factor. This is why some of the Chinese Super League players who were so strong, and, you know, Shang Qin from China beat Ma Long on the World Tour, beat Zhendong in the Super League. And I think it was Maharu Yoshimura that came out and beat him at the Japan Open last year. Oh, full commitment, but blocked back behind him.
That is incredible.
Talked about reaction time before. As hard as Dima hits that ball, this is a risk he needs to take, right? You play it a little bit softer and wait back and watch Zhendong rip it. Look at that full reach, just holds it up. Watch this. It's a talk to the backhand shot. Will not come down on the table. Power and placement again. Everything needs to be right to win a point out here. Ripping forehand. And again, look at where he takes the ball from down near the table. A lot of kick on it too. A little bit of side spin introduced from Fan Zhendong over the table.
So again, let's see if OVTCHAROV mixes up the serve to just keep Fan Zhendong asking questions. 7-5.
Oh my goodness! Spanked and rejected. Will not accept. Fan Zhendong's like, no, I will not take this. I will not stand for it. Look how flat and fast that comes back.
That's 2 balls now, one on the backhand, one on the forehand. I mean, Dima's played 2 great balls there. Had he gone to the middle, I mean, it's all great with hindsight, right?
Right.
But 2 amazing shots from Zhendong.
Now looking at the scoreboard, even with those 2 points, Dima's leading still by 2, so maybe shouldn't change a thing. He's got to go for these risks. I mean, maybe it's a question of placement a little bit when he goes for the all-in shot. Really tough to find the middle. Maybe a little bit more to the forehand side of the elbow. Try and get Fan Zhendong to take a longer reaction shot. He's been about an inch away from that edge on the line with that backhand. So many, I think it's his 3rd point this game that's just missed that edge.
Look at the fantastic agility on this one. Watch how Fan Zhendong leans. This one here. That is incredible strength in the legs and the waist. Core strength. Fantastic.
It's a little bit late to get to that ball. It's going to be a tough setup when you take a long defensive push like that. Almost a chop from Dima.
I mean, it's good, solid thinking from Fan Zhendong as a 19-year-old to stay cool at 6'8". 1 game down, to play 2 really tight points like that.
We've seen a lot of mental toughness from this youngster over the years. Last year in Lisbon at this tournament was down 6-10 against Malone before winning 3 points in a row, losing 11-9 in the 7th of the final. So big point for Dima. Back up by 1. The timing seemed just right on the opening attack, but when it came back, he struggled to play the parallel shot. And the fans show up for Fan Zhendong. Xiaopang Jiao. I mean, really, Dimitrij OVTCHAROV is playing so well right now. But I think for sake of interest in this match, I mean, it's going to be fascinating no matter what. But if Dima goes up 2 games to 0, it gets really interesting.
First game was 11-9.
Too much heat, so much pace.
You've got to hand it to Fan Zhendong. He's not sitting back waiting for Dimitrij OVTCHAROV to make mistakes. He's just proactive all the time.
Putting a lot of pressure on here, really forcing Dima to make bigger, better shots in less time. Game point for Fan Zhendong.
It's a good receive.
Talked about the long push, the best times to use it, and if you can surprise the opponent, it's fast, it's right at the baseline. And Fan Zhendong, not a lot of time to react to this, was setting up in the middle of the table, but he had planted his home in the wrong location. So deuce here in game 2, Dima with the serve to step ahead. And this time it comes back. He hits it hard, Fan Zhendong brings it back into play, but Dima didn't spend himself turning the corner. Stays in the middle with the racket head up to block it, and the next shot is soft. Watch this one more time. And it leaves Fan Zhendong left way out in front.
Even the legs of Fan Zhendong couldn't come back in to take that one.
That says a lot. He's got legs for weeks.
What's he going to do here, the 19-year-old?
Finally it comes down. What a smothering shot. Dima clutch right there down the line. Gets himself back into the point. This is the type of performance we have to wonder if we can see it come through for 4 games. 2 so far. Dima leading over Fan Zhendong. Don't lose your seat. Game 3, you don't want to miss it right after this. As the players come back, you can see the scores, a 2-point margin for games 1 and 2. Johnny, you and I were just talking about what it means for Dima to take the first 2 games and how we're watching so closely with anticipation. I mean, even, I was just mentioning, if Dima's up 3-0, 9-3, you're still watching just in case, because we've seen Fan Zhendong do crazy things and it never seems real until it's over.
Yeah, fantastic player, Fan Zhendong, already making a name for himself as a legend in the game. He's only 19 years old. He's going to come right back here, Dimitrij OVTCHAROV. But the German has been sensational in the first 2 games. To finish off that second game with that backhand down the line, sensational stuff. But you can feel the tension in the arena. Every point has you gripped. You're just not sure what's going to happen. And both players having to play an exceptionally high level just to win a point.
And you talked about Dima's backhand. When I think the first time that I saw Dima really pose a threat to the top Chinese players, 2014 in Tokyo at the World Championships, a 3-0 win over Zhang Jike. The backhand was instrumental in the first 2 points of this game. Backhand has been the key to success. Wow. Not even a racket up. The angle cross court, so much power with that cracking, ripping forehand. Looked like he might have thought it was off the table long for a moment. Yeah, shook his head. Not happy about the decision there. Little break there. Took a long time before that. I was wondering if he was going to get warned. We've seen it before for delay of game. A player deep in thought, making sure he knows exactly what he wants to serve.
I mean, just looking at Fan Zhendong's expression, you wouldn't know he was 2 games to 0 down. He looks still quite relaxed, so that's a good sign.
I was talking with Ian Marshall on a bus the other day about when's the last time you can recall Fan Zhendong losing to a foreigner. He had to go years back. I think he had said Kenta Matsudaira maybe 4 years ago, something like that, but in recent years, since he's past the mid-teens, it's tough to remember a foreigner beating Fan Zhendong. The barriers, just explosive fireworks from both sides. Dima on several occasions just impressing me. I can't believe he has the power to stay in this rally from out of position. This for me is point of the tournament so far.
Incredible stuff, and I don't know what sound people have at home, but here in the arena you can hear the ball being cracked by these two. They are biffing it. Incredible stuff.
This is in the Dimitrij OVTCHAROV highlights for career. Not just this match, not just this tournament, his career. That was insane.
He's really playing with intent, focus, desire, and actually a sense of calmness. It's like he's got inner serenity going on. And wow, when was the last time you'd have seen a Chinese player call timeout in Game 3?
Game 3 in a best of 7. I mean, this is panic time. And I know panic isn't the perfect term to describe it, but you have to just imagine right now the amount of lectures that would come to follow this match if Fan Zhendong does not win. You're looking at the most promising up-and-coming player in the game, number 2 in the world, who's beaten number 1 in the world in their last 2 encounters on the World Tour and in the Chinese Super League. What would it take for Dimitrij OVTCHAROV to break past his world rank of number 4 at his peak? Well, a win against Fan Zhendong could definitely be a nice little win to add to the mix. And even that point, the point so far of the tournament for me, Dimitrij OVTCHAROV, you saw how quickly he got right back into point after the lob. I mean, he knows he can't be passive. It's just the lob is only stalling to get him a ripping shot as soon as he can, right again.
I was impressed with the demeanor of the conversation between player and coach there in the Chinese corner. Nice, clear, calm instructions. No panic, no real, oh, what's going on?
Right.
You know, trust in the ability and just clear instructions. Maybe there's something simple that they're going to change here. But so far, OVTCHAROV's been in fine form here. 2-0-5-2.
Yeah, as far as the coaches' conversation, we've seen some coaches that do the tough love and some that just speak very softly. I think Ma Long's personal coach, the way Ma Long plays, that's the best ingredient for him. You know, very practical, calm and cool, but breaking the timeout, OVTCHAROV takes the next point. Keeping up the form, a 4-point lead.
It's almost like OVTCHAROV's restricted Fan Zhendong's ability to really explode. He's kept a lid on it somehow. I mean, he's matched him.
That's right.
The topspin, that's been the key ingredient for me. So when he's opened up 100%. He's got a block back from Fan Zhendong or a counter. He's gone 100% again. It's all or nothing, but it's been controlled and it's been effective.
And that's the thing. How many players against Fan Zhendong does he really not gain that much advantage after hitting so much power?
That's a big counter topspin.
Both sides, Dimitrij OVTCHAROV is playing 10 out of 10 right now. Half long push, the step around full commitment comes across the body. That's that placement, the unpredictability of that backhand serve. It's been so effective long into the backhand. But because he serves it short, or half long to the forehand rather, so many times, it keeps Fan Zhendong guessing a bit. And other than the sweat of that last shot, when you saw the close-up of the eyes, you wouldn't even guess that Fan Zhendong is losing. Oh, I mean, you can't even reach it with all the wingspan. Look how wide that shot was.
But it's so difficult to know where he's going to go. Is he going to go down a backhand, forehand? He just gives it the old windmill. Before you know it, you're having to go back to the barrier to pick it up.
This is where agility comes in, but the placement of the shot before he gets Dima using the backhand from a little bit more out to the forehand side of the middle, which naturally is going to make Dima start to cover the backhand. So as he's moving back, Fan Zhendong hits it behind the body weight, opposite direction. A little interesting here, Dima playing a softer shot early in the rally, sort of matching the soft pace that Fan Zhendong opened with. I think that was a smart play by Fan Zhendong to spin it softly because Dima was backing up. And look at this, Roscoff doing the same thing, stepping up, making sure that Dima takes a 3-0 lead. This is how important it is to not lose a single game out here. 3-0 versus 2-1, the odds just changed drastically for Dima.
If that's against anybody else, you probably just keep going.
That's
but
right.
Against any of the Chinese players, if Fan Zhendong gets back into this, it could be a match turner.
And much like the player has to adjust their game, the coach has to adjust the timing of their timeout based on who's on the other side of the table.
I think for Dimitrij, it's about staying positive and staying really aggressive. Don't let Fan Zhendong come in and swing. As for Fan Zhendong, maybe it's a little bit of variation on the serve and maybe the first topspin. Because at the moment, Dimitrij is able to see it and contain it.
I think that's a great set of advice there, some instructions for Fan Zhendong. I think we're going to see Dima go for big counters, even if Fan Zhendong gets the opening attack. I mean, this is the pressure he played with in the first 2 games. We saw him going for some very bold third balls against strong receives on the serve from Fan Zhendong. Just high-risk play throughout, and he's making a high percentage. That's what you have to hope for when you're the underdog. Take some chances, see if you can make more than usual. Outstanding. The fast, long serve goes big immediately.
And he's moved away from that little period, 2 points of softness. That's real aggression there, taking it to Fan Zhendong, which Dimitrij has to do.
He was a bit behind the table, too. To be that threatening with the backhand just shows how much power he really has on the backhand.
Great backhand topspin from Fan Zhendong. Really accelerated. Serve drifted a little bit. Dimitrij will be a little bit disappointed with that one, but Fan Zhendong just cracks the spin on it there.
And the placement's so wide to the backhand, it seemed like Dima was a bit out of his comfort zone for the next ball. Let's see where this serve goes. Man, the tension builds as it clips the top of the net. You know, we've seen service errors from Dima in tight situations. Right now would be painful.
Is the right play.
That's right.
But fair play to the 19-year-old. He's down. He's still going for those flicks over the table. So once again, it's close. First 2 games separated only by 2 points for the winning player, Dimitrij. Fan Zhendong serving 7-9.
Oh, so close, so much power swatting the backhand. The fact that he stays in the rally this long blows my mind. It's the second time I've been on my feet in the commentator's booth for these points. And that save right there where he almost reaches out, looks like he could have hit the floor if he didn't keep himself up. Just extending for the forehand, grunts to bring it back into play. Look at this guy.
Fan Zhendong's just bringing it right back here.
Whew. 1 point game.
Sit back on our seats here. So 8-3, 9-9. He's brought it right back. Ovtcharov just needs to refocus. Come on. First 2.5 games, outstanding. But fair play to Fan Zhendong. He's just not giving up.
So both timeouts have been spent. 6 out of the last 7 points have gone to Fan Zhendong. This is where Dima really has to show mental toughness. Takes the third towel break. It's not easy. I mean, this is the test of a true champion. You lose 6 out of the last 7 points, but you need to take this game, and you've got the serves to do it. There it is.
Great serve and third ball.
That third ball was dangerous because it's over the table. Look at this receive. He catches that probably a good foot inside the table. Has to extend, really force himself to stay on the attack.
Great technique. Great technique. And he'll have trained that, practiced that 1,000 times in the training hall.
Game point for Dima. Just misses the contact on the backhand, goes boldly, but it continues on. Deuce.
It's an incredible receive from Fan Zhendong at game point down to go 3-0, and he steps across and flicks it down the line. It's incredible.
And you said something, you said, you know, practiced in the practice hall 1,000 times. Absolutely, but the quality of shot, I mean, how often can you really practice against Fan Zhendong's receive? There it is, the grunts, the exhales, 2 big shots, and Dima with another game point. The ball cracked?
No, it was played, surely.
Ooh. Let's see this again. I think he's saying what happened yesterday. Hit the edge of the racket, the point's over. Wow, 2 pieces. The ball splits in 2. This is the natural from 1984 or whatnot in table tennis.
I didn't even see the other part go the other way in the original.
Well, look at it here.
Point. It's
3
split.
quarters. My goodness, we've got Pac-Man on the court rolling around. Other guy sitting there just dead. Talk about power. I mean, that could be used in math classes around the world. Somebody send that ball off. Any math teachers who are table tennis fans, that's going to be in a museum somewhere.
I didn't see it split. The action is so fast.
I want to see a slow motion replay of the contact, because if that hits the edge of the racket, in my mind, the point is over. It's a mishit. If it hits the racket's way, and he says it's broken again. Dima is the inspector. Look at this replay. Man, that's a tough, ooh.
It is
This is,
racket, so you could argue it's an edge. It's interesting.
well, so Dima's saying his case, and look at this one. So we've got 50% versus 75 and 25. We've got this is, seriously.
We've got the quartiles covered.
This is great. Can they do 7/8? That's what I want to see. Bring out one more. How about 6/7? That would be crazy. I don't even know if balls are made that way.
I tell you, with this game here,
that's
this
controversial.
Match, anything's possible. This is incredible.
It's just so intense, this moment, right? The umpires are doing their absolute best, and they are the world's best. It's just such a tough call. You know, it really comes down to judgment, and the coaches on both sides are going to stand up for their player in that moment.
But this is real professionalism and focus, and a test of their ability to stay in on the game and their mental toughness and resilience. What a moment to be having that 2-minute break.
And Dima testing, you could see the way he hit the ball. He was hitting it very flat, listening to the sound just to check and see if the ball was cracked. After 2 big grunting, exhaling backhands, the third one just mistimed and it goes long. Fan Zhendong staying cool, Dima staying hot, but just can't get the point.
That's the level you have to play at to take it to Fan Zhendong. It's just an incredible level.
Wow. Every time we hear him grunt and go big, it's paying off right now. I mean, he's playing the right tactics. He's giving everything he can, looking for any opening to put some real power on the ball.
It's like it's the release of that power. He knows he has to hit it at that level and that speed with that amount of spinning. The exhale's giving him that extra bit because Fan Zhendong, he's just there all the time. This is great focus and application from the 19-year-old as well. He's 2-0 down, he's hanging in, but he's playing very solid tactics. He's not just chipping it in or, you know, he's really got a game plan going on here.
And he also has a game point going on here on the receive.
Lovely change, short.
Johnny, I don't think I speak only for myself in this, but my heart hurts watching this. Dima, as the underdog, is not just the hope of Germany. He's the hope of every country in the world that is not China right now. There's something, we know the difference in level on the world stage. It gives us hope. If we can see someone defeat someone so dominant in the game, it gives us hope for the future. It inspires people to train harder. It tells the world this is possible. But But once again, he's brought in for the short serve on the forehand side with the backhand. He can't be happy about that decision, just leaves too much to come back for on the long backhand. Look at this. For a moment, he goes risky with the long serve back into the backhand. Has to play a soft ball from the middle with the forehand on the step around, but really capitalizes on the time to use this backhand.
And Fan Zhendong, you know, he's only 19, still he's staying cool, he's staying focused. It's testament to him.
Clever idea, tries to spin it, a difficult shot to the short side. He's got to avoid the forehand of Fan Zhendong from an awkward position. And again, a signature receive on the backhand. It's very unique. The pinky up, the racket head straight down. Another serve here to fight off a game point if he can. Oh, he had the opportunity high up in near the net. Not super high. Both of these players playing at top level, but Fan Zhendong with his first game, 15-13, and will come into game 4 as the plot thickens. Take a breath, folks. Game 4 after this. We're coming back for game 4. Some of us have gotten our heart rate back down to maybe where somebody who's not in the arena right now is, but anyone in the stadium, I think, has probably just run a mile sitting in their seat. Now, Johnny, we were talking about the conversation, the point that really they both showed such incredible focus after the dramatic ball break scene. The conversation about, do we introduce Hawkeye? Is there video replay? If you zoom in and you see the ball hits the edge of the racket, you might award that point to Dima. If it hits the square rubber, you replay it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, slow-mo would certainly clarify the contact point. What it might also do for the fans is create that element of excitement, intensity.
Almost like a game show level of suspense.
Suspense, that's the word, absolutely. We see it in tennis. So yeah, I think there's something quite interesting there, and I know the ITTF are looking at it at the moment, so could well play in.
Well plays tap long. You know, I think the whole conversation, though, about the Hawkeye, for me, it was the Japan Open 2014, Yu Ziyang versus Jun Mizutani. There was one call that went the wrong way, understandably so. Yu Ziyang hit the ball so hard, but he claimed it hit the edge. Testing for another broken ball. As far as meetings and conversations, talked to some of the manufacturers of the ball, and they're trying to make some new and improved, stronger, sturdier balls. With the way these guys are hitting, it really takes the best ball in the world to not crack under pressure. See a little bit of dent on the ball there.
At least it's whole.
Yeah, 100%. We have 25, 50, 75, and this is 100 with a dent. I don't know what the math term is for that. It doesn't really weigh in on the percentages, maybe.
This is really testing for both players. You know, very easy in this moment to get frustrated if you don't think things are going your way. Another ball breaks, very easy to get frustrated. But it's the same for both, right?
Right. I'm so impressed with both players to keep their focus the way they have. From the ball cracking drama. But from the start of this match, Dima's come out firing as well, playing the same aggressive, ambitious game that he has for every point of the first 3 games. Soft touch, awkward placement at the back of the table, gets some hesitation out of Fan Zhendong.
Level is outstanding.
And he started with this awkward brushing backhand and then quickly got right back into the full force mode. That was the awkward one. There's the rip. One more, and he has to come in for it. This is the
effort.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget that you're moving on a full plane. It's not just side to side. He had to come in for that ball. Little edge there to help out Fan Zhendong. It's a pretty wise play by Fan Zhendong to hit a spinnier, softer shot that Dima had to come in for in the point before this. But it just shows how alert Dima is right now, moving in 360 degrees on the plane to get the best shot he can every shot. It's not the first time we've seen him make a huge shot from over the table, forcing himself to stay aggressive. Look at this one more time. Watch where he takes his third ball attack. Because it's the length on the diagonal, that ball might come down for a second bounce if he doesn't reach up and grab it. It's easier said than done. You've got the obstacle of the table in the way. Very difficult to get a full stroke from over the table if it's not high enough. He's moving, he's anticipating. Yeah, the level of anticipation and alertness. We've seen so many points that Dima has won, reaching and lunging and just grunting to try to get it back into play and still keep some pressure on, which he's done successfully. He's very close to the back edge.
Even on the receive, you can see that OVTCHAROV's putting a lot into it. Every ball is 100%. And that's why, if you just let the door open slightly, Fan Zhendong, he'll walk straight through.
It's tough to recognize an opportunity here. Dima, look at this. Spins it into the body. Fan Zhendong from out in front. Topspin on it, brings it back from out. Can't believe how agile he is and how big the sweet spot is on both sides for Fan Zhendong. That serve gets away, a clean swing there, but the spin, the deception factor. Dima loads it with top and side. Wow, that full arm stroke is so vicious.
I think because Dimitrij OVTCHAROV's changing it up a lot, Fan Zhendong can't really settle into a rhythm knowing where the service is coming from. So whilst the serve wasn't top drawer, it was the fact that it was a little bit different, a little bit loose, a little bit top spinny. It was just different from the previous ones. So that element of difference seems to be having a positive impact.
This is where the history of the game does play into the receiving mindset. You do have to consider where serves have gone and what's most likely to come to you. And as you mentioned, Fan Zhendong, it's tough for him to guess right now. Attempting to keep some pace on that second ball. Not as fast a shot, but still enough to put some pressure on. And maybe the fact that it wasn't as fast as Fan Zhendong was used to is what threw the rhythm. I think you said it perfectly, Johnny. The rhythm factor, Fan Zhendong just isn't getting into the rhythm. Dima's switching it up so much, even in the middle of the points.
First sort of glance of uncertainty, I'd suggest, in Fan Zhendong after that last forehand went long.
Outstanding play again. I was concerned the ball had cracked. The way it slowed down in the touch shot from Fan Zhendong. He's so dangerous from anywhere on the court.
This is class. Great attack from Dimitrij OVTCHAROV, but look how Fan Zhendong comes right back. Look at the physicality on both of these guys.
I don't know what the Chinese word for Hulk is, but I think it's got to be applied to Fan Zhendong in one of his many nicknames.
I wouldn't be disappointed with that as coach. Don't worry, as a player, I wouldn't beat myself up for Dimitrij Ovtcharov missing that. He's tried to go for it. I think that's okay. 8-5, no problem.
Yeah, he made the right decision.
Tactically, and I think, you know, within himself, he looks okay, solid. But you're always wary that Fan Zhendong can just turn it on or maybe get a rhythm.
The body language, that's the first time I've seen from Dima a little bit more disappointment expressed as he let his arms dangle there for a moment. Again, he's trying the right shot here. He's got the right strategy. These are the shots that have won him so many points. He has to keep his head on straight here, which he's done so far.
We're in for another close one, Adam. Is it a surprise? Game 4.
When you don't know which way it's going to go, I guess everything is a surprise, no matter which way this one ends. I think for sake of interest at home, a lot of people hoping Dima pulls through.
But it's just fantastic from Fan Zhendong. Again, I've said it before, but 19 years of age, he's 8-5 down and 2-1 down. How many times do you just see, you know, the younger, less experienced players just blowing up and giving? He's not giving anything away here for free. There are no Christmas specials on offer in the casa of Fan Zhendong.
Despite getting into the season, he's not here for the holidays. He's here for the title.
You have to win the points against these top Chinese players. And Dimitrij Ovtcharov has certainly been doing that up till now. He has to believe.
Thought it might come down on the other side of the table off the top of the net. So we've got 5 points in a row from Fan Zhendong. Man, if you could see us in the commentators booth, there's not a person in here, commentating or not, who doesn't have a hand on their head right now. And it's not out of disappointment. I mean, both of these players deserve a standing ovation for the performance so far, let alone what's to come. It's just tough to see. We know the power of Fan Zhendong. And that one seemed like a loose thread coming unraveled just a little bit for the first point in a long time. A sad end to the game for Dimitrij Ovtcharov, but it's leveled out at 2-2. We'll see what happens in Game 5, see who steps into the lead. Dimitrij Ovtcharov versus Fan Zhendong right after this.
So it's 2-2. Wow. I mean, we're just talking here in the break. Impressive table tennis from both these players. Dimitrij Ovtcharov playing incredible stuff to take a 2-0 lead and have chances to go to 3. Fan Zhendong equally as impressive, Adam. Just fighting. The youngster doesn't know when to give up.
I think that's probably one of his best attributes. You know, Johnny, no matter which way this match goes, this has been, at least from the start, the best match I've seen from Dima in quite some time.
Now, the next few points are crucial. Is this where Fan Zhendong goes up a gear and finds this rhythm that Dimitrij Ovtcharov's been able to stall up until now and impose himself?
Now, what I like to think about, and I'm sure a lot of viewers at home are thinking, is what would you do, assuming you have the capabilities, the training, the skill set of Dimitrij OVTCHAROV, what would you be thinking right now?
Got to be thinking, you know, I'm playing well. First 2 games, incredible. Next 2 games, nothing really wrong either, right? So still playing well. Just believe.
Yes, Dimitrij OVTCHAROV, and I've talked to Roscoff about this a bit. His job, while tactics are going to come in sometimes in conversation, he needs to make sure that Dimitrij OVTCHAROV believes he can do this, plays every point with clear intention, plays boldly and unafraid. Not to say that everything has to be an attack all the time. He can play wisely and use soft shots effectively as he's done so far throughout the match. But yeah, the belief has to be there.
That's incredible stuff, particularly the first counter topspin down the line against the spinny ball from Zhendong. That'll give him confidence.
He was so calm in this. He kept the racket up. Zhendong spins the ball. There's a backhand earlier in this rally that was just crazy.
This is the ball here.
You know, I think it was the forehand, right? He was crouching and he hit it from way out in front. Just when it seems like he might be out of position, he still comes up with some magical shots. Ouch! Over the table. Yesterday, this was outstanding coming from Dima. His over-the-table forehand flip kill, so much power. He's got that long reach, he's got the loose wrist and the confidence. First time I've seen it this match, I think.
I mean, let's not underestimate a sense of the disappointment that any sports person would feel, whether you're playing match day golf and you're 3 holes up and suddenly it's all square, and particularly when you're facing formidable Zhendong, you know, just have to regroup, pull your strength together again, which no doubt OVTCHAROV can do here. But Zhendong is just so powerful.
I'm wondering if Dima's saying that touch the back. I couldn't tell if it looked like it went long in there. Oh, he's giving it to him. He said, yes, it did.
Well
good
done.
sportsmanship.
Absolutely.
And a good ear on both sides. Wow, crucial point. So 5-4. The apology from Dima, both players recognizing it.
Great stuff from Zhendong.
Just getting the...
Always good to see in all sports.
Class never goes out of style. Well-placed block, a little bit of kick on it. A few points here and there that Dima's had a little bit softer blocks, but adding a little bit of side spin to it. And it pays off. Coming around the ball makes it jump. A lot of different ways to make a block more effective. That's one of them. First service error for Dima.
So here's the interesting psychology part of it. Feeling here now, you may have a sense of Dimitrij OVTCHAROV thinking, I had a 2-0. However, if you'd gone back 1 hour ago and said, okay, it's going to be 2-2, 5-5.
It's tough. Honestly, for me, I've seen him fall apart in matches before. I don't see that yet from Dima. He comes right back, ties it up at 6 each. I mean, if it weren't for that, the edge ball goes the other way. I mean, he could have been down 3-6.
I think his demeanor's good. 4-1 down, pulls it back.
Yeah, Dimitrij OVTCHAROV. Sure, he's been called that probably by no one ever.
Good focus. Match really on here. Zhendong equally. Both players demonstrating great table tennis capability and great mental strength and calmness.
It's interesting to see where on the court the points have changed to. And this is just one other element to keep things unpredictable for Zhendong. If he can force Zhendong into the short game, I mean, the forehand flip kill is still going to be a difficult ask. Wow, soft touch leaves it at the back edge of the table to earn a point. Tied up once again. It's going to be dramatic either way, but if Dima takes this game, the pressure level, the expectations change.
Wow, great changing it up.
He's used it so effectively, that long serve from the backhand deep into the backhand side of the body. Middle of the table here. Little surprised he didn't go for the attack on the third ball. Looked like he had a little room, and we've seen him take balls from over the table, a little bit more ambitious.
That was a tighter receive, I think.
Yeah, from that second camera angle, you had a better look at where it really sat on the table.
2-all, 8-all.
Wow.
Incredible.
He's so strong to turn. We talked about core strength and leg strength. Look at his body weight. He's falling back. A lot of people would end up on their back after that shot. Zhendong just in position for the next shot if he needs it. Oh, so close. You can feel the frustration. It comes off the table.
Great receive from Dimitrij.
Stealing the third ball attack, earning himself a fourth.
How did he keep that receive so short when he put so much spin on it? Created the opportunity.
And even though it comes clear of the table, the ball's just so low by the time he gets it, there's pressure for him to still loop it back low, or else Zhendong will crush the next ball. 2 game points. Zhendong's side. Going back to the backhand serve here. Oh, second bounce!
What a receive.
Dima thought he had a third ball for sure, and the soft touch, a clear second bounce on the table. And another sad ending for Dimitrij to the game. 11-8 in a very close battle, game 6. It's going to be uphill from here, but we'll see if Dima can do it, or Zhendong will shut it out. Game 6 right after this.
Look at the scores on screen. It's so close. The tension here in the Ali bin Hamad Al Attiyah Arena is incredible as the 6th game is about to start, Adam. What are you thinking?
Where's my inhaler? I'm just not breathing well. It's so intense. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. If Dima plays like that and keeps it up, it's going to be an even sweeter victory if he can come back winning the last 2 games of this match. That's what I'm thinking. The drama, it's just, you know, the heart is what makes it great, to quote Jimmy Dugan, Tom Hanks in A League of Their Own. Again, Dima just will not stop attacking, and it's punched back to the open table. There was a net ball saved here. Dima still, look at that, he was on the forehand side, and the moment he steps around, he's burned, just smoked on the open table. Gets a little help from the net, but it doesn't end up helping him enough to take the point. Little table tennis karma comes back. Score-wise, not enough help. How do you hit it that fast and that low? From that angle, the ball looked so flat. Watch where he takes this ball. He's off the table. Wow.
Fantastic.
His backhand is unlike any other, the way he turns it up before to get so much wrist. Well placed, surprise into the body. We've got a fan in the booth here. I'm sure many throughout the stadium and around the world waiting to see if Dima can take this to a 7th and do the unthinkable, be a foreigner to beat Fan Zhendong. He's got the first part of that being a foreigner already. Think it was game 2 maybe, where Dima had many opportunities to go down the line. And it wasn't until the very end of the game that he scored, punching it back.
But he's just hitting it so solid, Fan Zhendong. The noise of the ball hitting the racket here in the arena. It's like a golfer hitting it out of the sweet spot off the tee all the time.
You know what, going to local tournaments and whatnot, this is the sound that players dream to hear when they contact the ball. No matter where Fan Zhendong is, I feel like 80% of his shots create that corking sound. Just a little too shallow. You can see the bounce in near the net. Fan Zhendong knows to come in and take the angle right away.
He stayed so calm as well, Fan Zhendong.
This is why we do fire drills, right? You're in a hot situation where there could be a panic, stay calm. This is why you rehearse, this is why you go through the difficult situations, so if they come up, you know exactly what to do. I almost thought that bounced a second time on the table. It sounded like there was one more bounce.
Spinning, it's just dipped down at the end to land right on the baseline, right in the corner.
Maybe it was the racket coming up on the table. Maybe it was my imagination. But wow, what a precise shot at the back of the table from Xiaopeng.
Just clipped the net there from Fan Zhendong. He's created some breathing space for himself here. Chinese world number 2. World number 6 from Germany. Giving it everything here. Good to see him still pumping the fist here. Still up for the fight.
There are no small points from here on out, but to change instead of 3-7 to be at 4-6, it's a much brighter, I'd say the light at the end of the tunnel is much closer to Dima winning that point.
Bit of frailty, but again, fair play to the young man. He's staying calm. Can't underestimate the pressure that must be out there at him.
It's hard to even imagine. For Fan Zhendong, though, even though it was subtle, I feel like that was the first sign of less cool than we've seen, some stress. And then sure enough, he comes right back out here with a risky long serve into the backhand to take the point. Not out of reach. 2-point game. Dima's been relatively effective with his serves. Again, that backhand that goes long into the body. I think if he can serve it half long for a second bounce on the table cross court to the forehand, and then come back into the body deep, might be a good combination. Or perhaps the other way around, trying to surprise.
Again, Fan Zhendong not giving any free opportunities for Dimitrij OVTCHAROV here.
He's going for it. It's what we talked about earlier, that forehand flip kill can be so effective. It's just a difficult shot to make, especially with Fan Zhendong's receives. And this one quickly went the way of Fan Zhendong after a tight fought match, 5-7. In the last 3 points here, Fan Zhendong now with 5 match points.
Incredible effort from Dimitrij OVTCHAROV. The level he played was incredible. But as for the 19-year-old Fan Zhendong, that just shows the strength of the 19-year-old.
Johnny, this match, it was a tough ending for Dima, and you said it. I feel like this performance for the majority of the match is standing ovation worthy from Dimitrij OVTCHAROV, but in fine form through pressure, really tested. World number 2, 19-year-old Fan Zhendong moves on to the men's singles semifinals. What a match. The highlights are going to be long and full. Stick around to see what other magic happens here today. We've got more matches coming up for you in just a bit.
We will be back at 5 p.m. when we will be progressing with the women's singles semi-final. That will feature Hanging against Japan's Mio Hirano. So that is to start at 5 p.m. For now, a short break, and we welcome you back in just over 3/4 of an hour.